Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
The reason I'm here today is to encourage the U.S. Congress to take action to protect our country from its most imminent threat. Electricity would cease, the internet would go down, and the banking system.
The smokescreen of national security used by government at every level.
A strong America is the only thing standing in the way. Country only needs a little chaos.
We have a fog that has descended on our entire nation.
Hello, Mr. President. Now is the time.
The average American family only has 3 days of food.
We need to talk face to face. This is important.
Sir, what's the mission? Disarm the population and restore order.
Do you have any weapons inside your home or on your person?
You had to give the president power to arrest any American by simply accusing them of terrorism.
The vanity of nationalism will quickly fade. These are but the birth pangs of a new world order.
I'm just so afraid of the world that you're going to have to grow up in.
This is a time, man, woman, young or old, when folks run and hide, or they pull up their bootstraps and they fight.
When you sell your soul, it's a one-time thing. There's no going back.
And you were just watching an excerpt from the movie Amerigeddon, and I'm here now with the director and the producer, Mike Norris and Gary Haven. Thank you guys so much for being here today. You had just an explosive interview on the Alex Jones Show today. That one's definitely going to be on repeat. And you mentioned sort of just the climate of the country and how this was a passion project for you and that you just had to get this film made. So talk to me a little bit about, I mean, it couldn't be more perfect timing for this movie to come out.
Well, you know, it was my idea to create a movie with a message, something that was important. And of course, Mike is a very successful filmmaker. His dad is Chuck Norris, and so he spent his lifetime in this business. And we've been friends for many years. So we've been looking for a project that we could collaborate on. And we actually made another movie, Missionaire. It's on Netflix. That was a small movie that taught us that we could put up with each other. And when I came to him with this project, Amerigeddon, it was an important project because there is a threat to this country that, according to 2 congressional reports, is the most imminent way that America is going to be attacked. And it's through an electromagnetic pulse. And it just so happened, we started writing the script 2 years ago, but in the news over the last 4 or 5 months, North Korea has launched a second satellite on February the 7th. North Korea has been miniaturizing nuclear devices that would be perfect to go on top of a satellite. And they have been, Kim Jong-un has been threatening to destroy America almost on a weekly basis, right? So you put these 3 things together and you realize that this satellite that crosses America twice a day could destroy this country. The Congress of the United States says that if they detonate a nuclear device over our country, that 90% of the American population would be dead in 12 months. So Mike and I agreed that this project was important. And Mike came on board and worked his magic and has created a great movie.
Well, I appreciate that, but it was very clear to me very early on the importance of this film. It's one thing about being a filmmaker and going out and making a movie. It's a whole nother thing when you're getting ready and you're making a project that could actually save somebody's life. If somebody watches this movie, understands the movie, even if they don't understand the whole principle of it, but if they watch the film, within the context of this film is information that could save somebody's life. And that's why I am just, Gary's passion has now turned into my obsession in a way, to gain the knowledge necessary for me to be prepared like I should be, and for me to be able to get the knowledge to now go out and tell the world about what's going on. So, I was behind the curve a little bit when we started. I understood Gary, and I've been in a number of great conversations with him where I'm trying to soak in this knowledge. It's like with Gary and Alex and you, these people with great knowledge. I'm new to it, but I understood very early on the importance of it. And I'm just so amazed at the response we're getting now. You know, you could just feel the groundswell coming when, you know, we're getting 10 theaters added in 3 days and many more calls to expand on this film. So, you know, I just really like to encourage your listeners to come out and support this film. It is a call to action. It's, you know, let your voice be heard. We are you know, I don't even want to say we're a minority. I think a lot of people firmly believe deep down inside what's really going on, but they're afraid to say anything.
They are.
And like I was afraid to really speak my voice on this, but now I'm in. I am in all the way. And this is now my life.
Yeah, and it's so exciting. And you mentioned just the explosion now with other theaters saying, hey, we want to get this movie there, actually opening it up to premiere at midnight tonight. Mm-hmm. And so talk to me a little bit about that, because you experienced some pushback in Hollywood, trying to get this movie produced. And we always sort of see this kind of pushback whenever there's a film like this that can actually save people's lives.
Yeah, you know, we didn't have pushback while we were filming. I mean, we had a little bit during the casting process where certain actors were going, you know, this isn't something our clientele would be interested in as far as their actors within William Morris, whoever it may have been. But once the film was, once we were done with the film, we had it put together, it was like, now what do we do with this film? And we'd shown it to a number of people in Hollywood that go, okay, this is a good movie, but whoa, there's no way we could get this through our system. And we had pushback on just about every step of the process. And it was really until Gary said, you know what? If they're not going to do it, I'll do it. And he's the one that stepped up to the plate and really created his own distribution company to put the movie out into theaters. So it is no easy task. And I learned firsthand the politics involved in the film industry.
Right.
You know, we just make movies, they go out. But on this project, there was so much pushback giving us an R rating, which we got turned into a PG-13 after we said, this is ridiculous. There is nothing in here that gives us an R rating. And we fought it. And we have fought the system. And so we're winning now. Now we're winning the system. Now that the people are gravitating towards Amerigeddon, the movie, they're coming to us now. So I'm just very, very thankful about that. And I'm thankful to Gary for being bold enough, not only with his mind, but his resources to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what did you think about that? Because, I mean, they're going to make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 or some other ridiculous movie. But then when you have an amazing movie like this come out that's really going to help people and explain what's going on and give them that push that they might need to see beyond the veil of mainstream media or whatever the lies they're being told to kind of placate society. Why do you think there is such a pushback with powerful movies like this, but then they can put out trash every week?
Yeah. There's a couple of factors here. One is that, you know, when I retired a few years ago, I wanted to do something that really made a difference. I've got a ministry in Haiti. We feed 10,000 children a day, and we have an orphanage in India. And those things are neat. There was a pilot. I flew Rand Paul to Haiti, and we did 200 cataract surgeries, and blind people would see the next day. That's pretty cool stuff. But I realized that you can teach people if you can entertain them. Mm-hmm. But I didn't just want to entertain them. I wanted to make movies that made a difference. And so Hollywood is opposed to anything that's values-based, anything that's got that Judeo-Christian value to it. You know, telling people the truth, for example. You know, well, truth is in Washington, in Los Angeles is considered relevant. You know. And absolute truth is something that anything that's based on that. And we were telling the truth about not only this threat to America, but perhaps more importantly, we were telling the truth about the criminal cabal that owns Washington. I've been a big Republican donor, and I'm going to tell you that I am disgusted with the Republican Party. At least they call them the establishment, but the truth of the matter is, our Republican representatives from here in Texas that are supposed to be conservative, they vote for things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership or the DARK Act, where we're not supposed to know what we're eating. And so I am going out and calling names. I'm calling out these Republicans who keep getting elected as if they were constitutionalists.
Right.
And this movie has become a platform for that.
Right.
And of course, Washington, Los Angeles doesn't want to hear about truth because they maintain power by keeping us in the dark.
Absolutely. And that's why this film is so exciting and everybody has got to go out, watch it, request it in your theaters. Now, Gary, I know that you spoke with someone in Homeland Security who's basically in charge of protecting America from an EMP attack. So based on that conversation, what would you say is the current state of our safety here?
Yesterday, as a matter of fact, I spoke to Dr. Peter Pry, who is the head of EMP protection for Homeland Security. And fascinating conversation. In fact, I'll tell you a little insight on it that you'll find pretty interesting. You know, I asked him, why is the political process, why are our representatives done nothing to protect us from what the Homeland Security says is the most imminent threat? And he said, well, you know, these people are bureaucrats. These people are, are not focused on it. And I said, well, Dr. Pry, I got to ask you. I said, I believe it's more nefarious than that. You know, there's a group of people that really run our government, the shadow government, and I really think they have ill intentions for the American people. And he said, stop. And I said, pardon me? He said, you know Homeland Security is listening to this phone call. And then he said, by the way, I agree with you. And that was a fascinating conversation to have.
Wow. Wow. So he didn't give you any indication as far as any moves they're making? I mean, I know we're watching just kind of on the sidelines. You see them holding these meetings there in Congress about, hey, you know, what should we do about when drones are actually flying in the sky? And they're supposed to open up the skies for drones by, 2015, obviously this past year. And they didn't even have any idea as far as what are the rules? Can we attach weapons to them? Is this okay? Can we use them against American citizens? So, and we're seeing how the Department of Justice and these other places are being hacked into on a regular basis. It doesn't make you feel very secure as an American citizen when Homeland Security can't even protect their own
You know, we've all been told, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help you, right?
Yeah.
And I think the American people are waking up. Our government does not care about us. Our government cares about, and by our government, I'm talking about our elected representatives in Washington. They care about keeping their jobs.
Right.
They care about becoming lobbyists afterwards. They care about the power that they get in that position. And it's not just an opinion. Princeton and Northwestern University did a study and looked at the federal policies over a 20-year period. And they determined that you and I, as voters, have no influence, zero. That every federal policy has been determined by moneyed interest. So our representatives in Washington on both sides of the aisle are bought and paid for and have no regard for us. And you know what? Our movie is going to tell the story that these people we're sending to Washington are not going to protect you. They're going to leave us vulnerable. And I think there's a movement in this country, the same movement that's supporting Trump, that we realize our country's been stolen, and we see somebody that's going to help us take it back.
Right, absolutely. I mean, we have a story out today about Congressman X, someone anonymously who's basically saying, this is how it really is in Congress. We don't care about the American people. They're so stupid and naive, and it's super easy to control them. And all we really care about is getting reelected. So as long as we can put on the show for the people and keep our job, that's what they care about. And these idiots are selling our country out. They do not care about the future for even their children, let alone our children and grandchildren.
And we're having a great awakening. The American people are finally accepting this. Do you know that 2 days ago, George H.W. Bush said that the American people can't handle the truth? 2 days ago, and said it publicly. So you know what? The American people have decided, well, you know what? We'll show you we can handle the truth. We'll show you that we can elect people that actually do their jobs instead of you bums who go there and line your pockets. Exactly.
Well, so what does your movie have to do with the Trump phenomenon in this country?
Well, I believe that it's resonated. You know, our movie, Amerigeddon, has had over 4 million views of the trailer. It's become a movement.
Right.
And I think it's paralleled the Trump movement because people are getting behind Trump because they're seeing someone stand up to the establishment.
And the moneyed interests.
In the moneyed interests. You know, Trump never misses talking about Hillary without saying the criminal Hillary.
Right.
We've never seen this
Doesn't
before.
play politics, yeah.
And I think he ought to say the pedophile Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
You know, you know, he's a violent rapist. This is established, and so somebody finally has the nerve to speak in public about these criminals in Washington, and the American people are getting excited about it. And so in our movie, where we show that our government is more than neglectful by not protecting us. You know, Dr. Peter Pry that I was talking about said that this Korean satellite that flies over our country twice a day ought to be shot down. We shouldn't take a risk, and we don't know what's on it, but we don't care. We should shoot it down.
Especially
We're
when they're
America.
continually saying, we're going to attack you.
Yeah, if 90% of Americans could be killed as a result of this, you shoot it down. There's not a discussion here, but they're not doing it. So a lot of us are now believing that it's not incompetence or ineptness. It may be deliberate. You know, Henry Kissinger said that the only thing standing in the way of a new world order is a strong America. And I believe that the people in power, the true power, the deep state in this country, are creating chaos, because out of chaos you get order. And it's not only spending into oblivion that'll never be paid back. It's an open border where we know ISIS is coming across. It's bringing in unvetted Syrians when the FBI says up to 10% of them may be radicalized. That's insane. And any of us that have common sense would say, you know, what are we even discussing this? You just don't do it if it puts us at risk like that. And following Kissinger's words, you know, they need to bring us down. Remember, these people in power, they aren't allegiant to this country. They're allegiant to their own power on a world government, a world economic system.
Wow. Ugh, that's just incredible. It's giving me the goosebumps. So, Mike, talk to me a little bit about the cast. Obviously, we know liberal Hollywood. Were these people kind of against us going in, or were they transformed?
There were some against us, but we had Diane Ladd, 4-time Academy Award nominated Diane Ladd, who just got nominated for Joy this year. She was all on board from the beginning. She understood it, and she was all in. Marshall Teague, who was in Roadhouse, Armageddon, he's in Amerigeddon now, plays our bad lieutenant. We've got my daughter Greta Norris, who is the only person besides me and my family that is awake, let's say, who's 16 years old. So that was our main cast, and obviously Gary Haven. So it was what we really try to do on our films is pull in as much Texas talent as we can. These are people that understand our values and our beliefs and are sold out and ready to come to work and not complain about anything.
And that's just lovely. And we're starting to really see that even people in Hollywood, they can see what's going on, and they're kind of saying, I don't care if you blacklist me at this point. I have to start speaking out against what's happening here and the whole liberal bias, the liberal agenda that is destroying the fabric of this country. And I agree with your point of view that perhaps there are some nefarious globalist actors at work that would like to see a weak America, because that is what's going to stop this globalist movement.
Absolutely. We're going up against a couple of them this weekend, a couple of very liberal actors and actresses and directors that are coming out with movies this week. We're going to wipe them right off the map.
Absolutely. And we will be there right along with you. I know I'm going to be at the red carpet event this weekend, but everybody else out there, it's opening up in select theaters tonight at midnight everywhere across the country. You can find out where it's playing near you at Amerigeddonthemovie.com. But we need to show Hollywood and the nefarious globalist actors that are out there trying to take down this country and tear away at the fabric of this country. Let them know that we're not going to stand for it. We are awake. We can handle the truth. And you can do that by supporting this movie and show your patriotism today. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Leanne. Thanks for all you guys do here at Infowars. You're great Americans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a very important question that needs to be answered. Will humanity survive? And to look at that threat, we have to ask another question. What is the number one obstacle to human beings and our species surviving and becoming a type 1 civilization that isn't just dependent on this planet? You could say that it's changes in the heavens, suns going supernova, tectonic earthquake and volcano events, nuclear weapons, genetic engineering. But if you look at the race, the acceleration of technological development, I think the biggest threat overall is humanity not pacing ourselves and merging with artificial intelligence. So they're trying to end humanity as if it's a good thing and create this new species. Talk about mad scientists. And there have been several new articles on this just the last few weeks. DARPA is testing implantable chips in soldiers' brains is one of them. Another just came out in mid-April. Rich Americans seeks black market brain implants in bid to plug into artificial intelligence matrix. And they're going to go through the dangerous surgeries of being hooked up, not just with a few wires, but with thousands of connections total, to the brain, to an AI computer to try to merge consciousness. My father, a physician, recently went back to continuing education, part of keeping his medical license, and he brought me back some of the literature they gave them. This was from the state medical boards right here in Texas, that soon you'll have to have a DNA chip to get a prescription. Not just that chips are going to be on the pills and medicines themselves, but now you're going to have to give your blood, basically every time, a tiny prick, into a DNA chip database that tracks everything going on in your body as well as your genes. In this short report, we're only scratching the surface. And the big issue here is things they denied 20, 30 years ago that were going on, they're now admitting today. What are they doing that we don't know about? We need to have a debate about our species. We need to understand that the global elite have decided we're obsolete and are moving towards a robotic future where there's no place for humanity, as Bill Joy wrote over 15 years ago for Wired Magazine in his article, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. And the numbers are in. Screen time, all the television, all the prescription drugs. This modern culture is killing us. Our IQs are dropping. People are becoming more and more ignorant. Society is unraveling and falling apart. So we know that the fruits of this high-tech poison tree are literally killing us. The answer is getting back to healthy living, gardening, spending time with our families, less screen time, and also using compounds that Mother Nature has produced that are known to boost our natural abilities. Humans have built an incredible world. We can change our environment. We do have that magic spark. But the elite think we're ugly and bad and have decided it's time that humans be thrown on the ash heap of history. We have taken some of the compounds that Mother Nature has produced and gotten the cleanest, purest sources of it and put it together in BrainForce, one of the most highly reviewed nootropic brain boosters on the market today that has an incredibly affordable price. Check out BrainForce today and other game-changing compounds like X2 Survival Shield at InfoWarsLife.com. Again, that's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.